Charles Jr. is he's a very smart and articulate professional. He manages Farmers Branch. He's the financial officer of the suburb of the governmental, and he likes to travel. One time he wrote me a note listing 20 problems that he thought that I had, issues that he thought I had, with reference to the children and the household and etc. And I think I could only find one or two that I could make an argument that wasn't as insightful as the other stuff was. But I never was his stepfather, but I've always had an affectionate relationship with him, and he is a great cook, chef. I think one of the most interesting experiences with Charles was something happened, and we weren't really sure what it was, and he was staying in his room, and he was curled up on the bed a lot, and Malia was just didn't know what the situation was, and she went back to the university and used her computer connection with the registrar's office and got his grades, and found out that he basically had failed a number of courses and was on probation. And he had been a very good student all the time, although he had a job. He was working for Bonanza and as a chef, and he had a car, and he was belonging to a fraternity, and I thought and conveyed to him that he was doing too much to maintain good grades. And I was having breakfast, we was cooking pancakes, and I had a conversation with him that started out by me asking, Charles, if you had your wish, what would you want to do? And he said, I'd like to go to a university and start all over again. And I said, oh, that's interesting. What university would you want to do that? And he said, I'd want to go to TCU. I could get a half-time scholarship there, because my father is a minister in that church. Okay, what's the problem? Well, when I do the application, I'm going to have to put down what my grades were at the University of Texas, and my father said there's no way that they're going to take a student that is on probation. I said, and I had been at that time working at academic counselor at St. Edward's University, and I said to him, well, my experience is that public schools and private schools do not share the same data banks. if you apply for TCU as if you have never been to college, they are not going to check and find out that you are on probation from the University of Texas. You have to volunteer that, or if you fill out, when you fill the forms out, you just don't, and you're not looking for credit from Texas, and you're willing to let that go. And so he said, and I said, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get in. And he said, well, I'll try that. And he did, and he got in. And he graduated an honor student and eventually went on to SMU and got a master's MBA in SMU. And I think that was one of those that Malia could not have that conversation with him because she was heartbroken that he was on probation, and it was like a death in the family, and it just was a problem to be solved for me, and I didn't have the emotional charge that parents have about their children.